Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today while we talk a little bit about eShow's mobile app updates. I'm going to give us a few more minutes, allow some additional attendees to enter. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get us started. So today, as I mentioned, we want to talk about some of the updates, enhancements to eShow's existing mobile app. So again, thank you for joining us. Here with you today, myself, Director of Sales, and I have Christopher Weaver, our Assistant Director of Mobile Services. So our very own mobile developer here to present with me and then answer any questions. Okay, our agenda. So very quickly, we're going to go through a little bit about eShow and why eShow. We'll talk about the enhancements of the mobile app, new features. I'm going to do a live demo, and then we will leave some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A, and we will hold them till the end. Okay, so why eShow? eShow has been in the event technology industry for over 26 years. We are fully integrated and customized. We brand events for our clients, so everything branded to your event. We are solution focused, fitting the needs to all of our clients. So it doesn't matter what products you need of eShow or the size of your event. We are focused to customize that to your event needs, whether it's just registration or just mobile app or combination. Again, small events, medium, large, we can service all of them. eShow is built by event professionals for event professionals. So we understand what our clients need. A lot of our staff has come from the event industry. We get events and we are tailoring the software and the technology to your needs. Finally, but most importantly, our customer service is what sets us aside. So we have an exceptional customer service team here at eShow. We like to consider ourselves an extension of our clients' teams. We are here to support you. We will build out your events, get everything up and running, and work alongside you and your team to ensure that you have a successful onboarding, show, and post event, whatever you need. Additionally, though, while we are here to service and build and work through this with you, you do have the access on the backside of eShow if you are the individual who wants to be hands-on and in there yourselves. So before we get into a little bit about some of the updates, I just want to touch on eShow's products real quick and how are within our ecosystem, all of our products speak to one another. So if you are using registration, session management, exhibit management, it all flows into our mobile app. So this is a huge thing that sets us aside from some other providers out there. You don't have to connect via API if you're using those other products. The data will flow right into that mobile app. Another point I want to highlight is that a lot of the critical functionality of our mobile app will work offline. So, searching within the app, looking at that session list, exhibitor list, viewing any profiles. Once everything has been uploaded into that app, your attendees can still view all of that while offline. So we have some images here. The biggest thing that you're going to notice is the revamped homepage, and its layout is a little bit more modernized. So at the top, the banner is larger and more vibrant. So this can be rotating images of sponsors, event images. You can set the time of those images. They'll all be set to the same timing, but great space to sell as a sponsorship and promote your event imaging. Um, right below that is our global search engine, also new. And then the navigation is right in the middle. So we're going to kind of dive into all of these pieces a little bit more in the demo. But that navigation display order is customizable. So the first 7 navigations that you are selecting will display here. So you are seeing eShow's icons. You can upload your own, and you can rename stuff as well. Below that, you have the option to add widgets if you would like. And we can also display the attendee QR code. So when they come on site to print their badge, it's right there in the mobile app. They don't have to find their email. They can pull up their QR code and print right from there. So the homepage widgets, some of the options that are available. So this is the bottom part of that homepage. You can highlight the sponsors as we saw in the previous slide. You can choose to show the upcoming sessions. So the app will take a look at the date and time and show the next upcoming sessions. You can show the FAQs, which is in the picture on the right-hand side. So just question and answer styles that expand and collapse. On the left, you see that you can also choose to put a custom message. So here we're letting attendees know about their CE credits and printing them. You could also have a new show displaying at the bottom. So if you're ready for them to upload that next show. The agenda building has been enhanced. So previously, we offered a bookmarking feature. So that's not gone, it's still there, but now they can actually add a session to their agenda. So in the image on the left-hand side, I have opened up a session. You can see that the attendee can bookmark it, take notes on it. They can now add it to their agenda. They can still rate it and claim those credits. And then we see all of those session details just like before. On the right-hand side, when they open up their profile, which is the middle icon at the very bottom of the app, they can navigate to their agenda. So that calendar is going to display a dot on the date where they have sessions that they've added, and then a list of the sessions within that date are below it. The search engine, this is also new. So this was on the home screen right below the header image. They can type in a search word. It's going to search the app content all in one place. They can search for items such as sessions, speakers, exhibitor, attendee, maybe those sponsors, documents, push notifications. So this image is just an example. We're looking for anybody with the name close to John. It's pulling back all of the records that include John. Some of the exhibitor and sponsor details have been enhanced as well. So now when we navigate to the exhibitor list, their company logos can display in that list view, which you see on the left-hand side. On the right image, this is within sessions. So if a session is sponsored, you can see right here, this black espresso, that's the sponsor's logo right there. They are sponsoring that session. So it displays in the session detail now as well. Networking and appointment making. So, an important piece that I want to point out, eShow does offer networking and appointment making. If you are using eShow for your attendee registration and then your exhibit and or sponsorship sales. So, if both of those products are something you're using, we would have to also include the networking add on to that. So, it allows your attendees to answer questions, your exhibitors to answer questions, take a look at when they can meet up, make appointments. If you want to utilize the Smart Match piece of that ahead of time, that can be done on a web page where the system can indicate if they suggest a match or not. Within the mobile app, though, specifically, they can take a look at the companies and their available times, and they can schedule appointments in the mobile app for a company and or an attendee. Okay, so let me pull up our demo. We're going to see a little bit of what we just saw. We'll dive a little bit deeper though, and so you may hear me repeat a few things, but this is the home page. Or I'm sorry, the splash page. So when they first download it, this is what they're going to see. Either a couple things. I'm going to pause the video for us. You can choose for them to log in first if you would like. After they log in, it would jump to this splash page where you can have it branded for the event. If you don't want to require them to log in, that's okay. They can log in later. There is some functionality in the app that will require a login though, so keep that in mind. This splash page, while it opens initially, it's a great place for you to put event imaging. I wouldn't necessarily suggest it as a sponsorship spot because they're not always going to go back to that. The homepage, as we see at the top, we love our sponsors. So this can be a combination of sponsor imaging or event imaging. So a great place for you to sell a sponsor logo right at the top. As I mentioned before, it's a bigger space than before. Our middle navigation, we're going to go through shortly. We'll see each one of them open, but it's the first 7 that you select, and then the more button will display everything else. We can see the attendee's QR code in the middle, and then that widget that we've selected for this demo is to highlight those sponsors. Oh, you can't see the screen. Okay, let's see. All right, bear with us 1 second. Going to re-upload this video. I'm so sorry. Okay, can you see the video now? No, still black. Okay. Let's. But you can see my presentation now, correct? Let me try and just find the original.
Samantha, while you're doing that, I'd be happy to answer. Oh, do you have it?
Let me miss. Oops. I think that's Chris is sharing. Yeah, Chris has got it up. I was pulling it up myself, but thank you. We've got two Chris's here today, one behind the scenes. Okay, thank you. You can go ahead and start. Okay, so I'm going to restart since nobody saw what I was talking about on the black screen before. I apologize. Okay, this is the splash page. So when they download the app, couple things about when they download the app. We do offer working with clients who have a branded app. We can do that. Anyone who has a branded app, you need an Apple developer account, grant eShow access to it. It does extend the build cycle a little bit because Apple's involved. One thing that we like to point out is that we offer a container app. When we send out the email notification to all of your attendees asking them to download the app, we can send a QR code that sends them right to the App Store, and we can even send them directly. So they would be downloading an eShow event app if it's the container, and then they can go directly to your event. So they don't have to see a list of events. So if you want to take out working with the developer account and just work directly with Chris and his team in the eShow app, we can make it so that they are directed right to your event within our container app. Once they open it, either way, everything we're seeing today is going to be the same. So can you pause it? That previous page, the splash screen, they're going to come to that when they first open it. If you have a login, as I was talking about earlier, we can prompt them to log in first. And that splash screen, you can put an event image. That's what I was suggesting. I wouldn't necessarily recommend for a sponsorship piece because they're not going to see it necessarily every time they open the app unless they completely close out. This homepage they will see multiple times. So this is the revamped homepage. Great spot to sell a sponsorship ad at the top. You can have this rotating as it plays. You'll see a few different images. So you can put event imaging and sponsor logos there. Right below it, you can hit play now, thank you, is that search bar that we talked about and the navigation right directly in the middle. So the first 7 icons will display in the middle. You can choose your order of navigation. So you pick the first 7 and then the more button will display. We're going to see that open shortly. The attendee QR code, which will pop up in just a minute. So this is their QR code for on-site express badge printing. They don't have to find their email. And then this bottom part that we're seeing is where those widgets would display that we talked about earlier, sponsors, which we see here, upcoming sessions, FAQs, custom message. So I've gone into the first navigation, which was session list, if you want to hit play. At the top, we can see the different days of the event. If you're using topics, tracks, those are filtering as well. Once you open a session, this is where we can bookmark, take notes, that my agenda, which is new, and rate. Rating is taking that session evaluation. They can see the description, all of those details right here within the session as well. So while topics are tags and such, they also display below. I had clicked on the speaker profile. We can view all of her sessions. Oh, yeah, go ahead and pause it. And the speaker profile, we could see her photo, her bio. We could bookmark, take notes, and we could send her an email if you allow that. You can leave it right where it's at. The next navigation that is in front of us is the exhibitor list. So this is where we talked about earlier. The logos are now displaying right there. Go ahead and hit play. If we click into a company, we can bookmark, take notes, map it, or we could email them. We can see their company description below and product categories. Now, as this is playing, when we're bookmarking, taking notes, emailing, that does require that the attendee is logged in. So here, if you're using eShow to manage your exhibit and sponsorship sales, the Map It feature applies. And as you saw, it dropped a pin on the show floor. It does require that you are using eShow to manage your exhibit sales and floor plan though. The next navigation that we see in front of us is the show feed. So this is a social for your event. Attendees can post on here. They can tag one another, upload photos. Show management does have control of this if there's something that you need to remove. Attendee list. So we can push all your attendees in there to display publicly if you'd like. They can turn it off. We can bookmark, take notes, and we can start a chat from an attendee profile as you see. Sponsors, so there's a navigation specific to them. We can see the different sponsors, their levels. If we click on oh, you want to pause this? My video is a little quicker than I can talk. If you were to click on a sponsor's logo, it could direct right to their website. This next navigation is a floor map, so it can be your show floor map from eShow. They can open it up and they can search. Click play. Thank you. Local places, if you want to load some suggestions for outside of event hours in the area. And then I'm going to open up, should go to the more button. So this is the full list of navigation. We've already gone through the first 7 of them. FAQ should open next. I think it's paused, maybe. Yep. So any FAQs about the show, question and answer that expand and collapse, we can load these in for you. About the show, any details that you want to offer them about the show, where it's located, maybe hotel information, great for your attendees to have available on the app. Conference map, so we can load static images of the venue where the meeting rooms are. The next one is a custom navigation. So if you want to pause this real quick, I can talk through that. If you need a custom navigation out to a separate website, we can include that. I didn't open it, there's nothing connected, but that's kind of what would display there if you need that. Next is gamification. So with eShow, we offer 2 different games. On the app, when they open up the gaming, they can see the details, they can scan QR codes, and of course, what we see in front of us mainly is the leaderboard. So the 2 different games that we offer would be Passport. They go around to the different vendors or sponsors, exhibitors. Maybe it's something that you're selling to them as an additional add-on, and then they get a QR code, but as they go to each booth, they can scan there for points and then scavenger hunt. So placing these QR codes throughout different areas of your event where you want them to visit, registration as they're checking in, maybe your keynote speaker, maybe your top sponsors booth. So they can earn points the more they scan. And like I said, what we see is the leaderboard. Go ahead. So this is opening up the game details. We can list it out. Maybe if you have prizes, what's available. And then if they hit the scan in blue, it would just open up the camera to scan the QR codes. Okay. We do have a schedule at a glance. It's just another view of the schedule, very limited. So you'll see that the navigations at the top are a little bit limited versus the full session list. It's just a at a glance view, so you can choose to use both of those for the event, or maybe if you don't need the at a glance, you can just use the session list that we saw before. Show notifications, so they can come to this navigation to see anything. However, they will get a notification on their phone if their screen is turned off, or down in the bottom right hand corner there, if there is a notification, there'll be a red dot displaying that for them too. speaker list. So we can see all of their photos. We can click into a speaker's profile, read their bio. We can bookmark, take notes. We could email them. We did see the speaker profile pop up quickly earlier when we were at the session list. So we can jump to a speaker's profile in a couple different areas. On the speaker profile, we can also see the sessions that they are presenting at. And then the unified communication. So you can rename any of these. This is the chat. While we can open up an attendee's profile, as we saw earlier, we could start a chat there. Any conversation that you initiate will be saved here. So you don't necessarily have to go back to that attendee's profile to continue that conversation. You can come to the chat navigation. There are also options to create discussion groups if you'd like to do that. If you hit play, I think I clicked on it when I made this video. So that should open up, but you can create some discussion groups as well. And then down in the bottom, the three navigations. So we have our home screen, and then we're looking at our attendees profile right now. As I had mentioned, we can push all attendees to display automatically, but you can see they can turn it off. They can also edit their profile or sign out. So from here, they can open up their full agenda, and then you see my attendee, my speaker, my exhibitor, CEs, notes, appointments. Throughout the app, wherever they are bookmarking or taking notes, this is where everything is being stored. So they can come back to see the attendees they bookmarked, the speakers they bookmarked, the companies, the notes that they took, and then they can email them to themselves right from here as well. All right. This should be the end of it. So thank you, Chris. I'm going to open it up for questions. Let me see what is here, and I'm going to let Christopher take over to answer questions that have been coming in. So in the custom menu description, has that been updated? So
I'm
it
not
looks like maybe they had to use HTML codes previously.
I'm not entirely certain what's meant by custom menu description in this case. If it was the game description, that still can honor HTML, but HTML is not required in order for it to work.
Okay. Is there still an option for a bottom rotating banner?
Yeah, so at this moment, kind of the answer would be no. We opted to move away from that towards the widgets, which, as you were demoing, we have a bunch of great widgets, upcoming features, highlighted sponsors. But having one of the widgets actually just be another rotating bar, that is on our feature list to complete. We have a bunch of other great widgets, we're hoping to add in Q1 of this upcoming year. And that is definitely one of them.
Yeah. And is the new version of the mobile app available for Apple and Android devices?
So it will be available for both platforms. We take a lot of pride in making sure things are done native to both platforms, so they're as close to hardware as possible and as performant as possible. As far as when they will be available, I do expect communications to go out as to when it will be accessible by organizations shortly within the next couple of days. We're looking to roll out soon.
And can you now put logos in the agenda session page? So I'm assuming you are asking about like a sponsor logo, which yes, we had, there was a couple showing in the demo. Has the show feed been updated?
Yeah, so some of our primary goals with this new version of the conference app was one, obviously, to give it a refreshed look and feel. But secondarily, it was to kind of redo some of our underlying architecture. Um, and part of that was just to make it significantly more robust, to have less problems when we're on site. The performance, it's much smoother. We're experiencing much less issues with this new architecture. Then also on top of that, it's going to allow us to build a lot of fantastic new features very quickly in 2025. So yeah, the show feed is definitely one of those features that we took a look at when we were building this new version of the app, and we've definitely made it significantly more robust.
Yep. And I had another question right after that about a social wall where they can post photos. So that's exactly what we're talking about, the show feed and everything Christopher just mentioned. Mhm. Okay. Is the admin portal for the new app the same as before?
Yeah. So as of now, we have split up a new page within the mobile module that allows you to set up primarily this home page on the new version of the app. But for the most part, we're trying to keep familiarity as close as possible with the old app. So it pretty much looks exactly the same as the other one, just a little bit of difference as far as what headers are available to set up and whatnot.
Great. For the game, how do attendees see how many points they have earned?
So the way the game works is it is a leaderboard style game. So the top 25 attendees participating in the game based off of their points will display on that leaderboard. Assuming you are not one of those top 25, you will actually display as the 26th person on that list with your current score and rank.
Okay, perfect. Two of those questions. That's great. For the game, does each attendee have to have a unique login or password to access the app? We currently do not require a login for our attendees.
Yeah, there does have to be some sort of login mechanism at this time. It is a requirement in order to play.
It needs to connect back to their profile. Right.
Yeah.
Um, in the past, loading sponsor logos into the app didn't always come out as clear, maybe. Are there specs that our clients should provide to our sponsors to ensure that the quality is the best?
Yeah, we definitely have that documentation. Work with your event service team members at eShow. They can definitely help you get that and figure out those quirks you might have experienced in the past.
Yeah, and for anyone who's on here who's a current client, first of all, thanks for joining, everyone. But your event manager who handles everything registration and mobile app will have those specs for you. So some feedback on the topics and tracks showing and that it's very useful and loved. Will this include session levels such as beginner or advanced? I believe that was one that was displaying in our demo today.
Yeah, yeah,
The level.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry if the tags are a little bit small for you to see, but we had topics and tracks, and then when you open up a session, the tags that were colored, I believe one of them had the level itself displaying. Chris, can you explain how CEU tracking works within the app?
um, that one's a little more complex. I know we have a lot of flexibility within our system and how that one works. So I'm certainly not necessarily the person to speak to that, but the app does offer the ability, if you have it opened up in a certain way, to allow people to claim credits within the app itself. Um, we also do have it set up to where, yeah, you can require that someone either take a survey of the session or take a quiz on the session first before they are actually allowed to claim those credits.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be based on your rules and how do you allow them to claim their credits, right? Like Chris mentioned, are they required to take that evaluation, or do you scan them into a session and that has to be recorded first? So a lot of things that are gonna play into, um, when or how they're able to get it out of the app, but it is available. Let's see. When will the app specification document be available for our
That all will
clients?
certainly come out when we are ready to start giving access to the app. Those will be paired together.
Yep. So everyone on today, it is the enhanced version. So we are just getting ready to launch this for the first event. So if you are a current client and you're looking to utilize this, please reach out to your event manager and we can follow up, um, take a look at your event dates and get you some of those specs as we're ready to move forward. Let's see what's next. Just confirming, we can now tell our attendees their barcode is available via the mobile app instead of bringing a paper.
Yeah, so that barcode, if you are logged into the app, and I'll just kind of reiterate this, as Samantha was demoing, there is a big prominent spot on the homepage that if an attendee taps will pull up that QR code. That is not a requirement for the app, so you can toggle that on and off based off of your show needs. But that QR code will allow you to utilize our express registration, scanning into session tracking. It works seamlessly with our LR. So a lot of the places that you would normally have that QR code in a badge, that will function for all of those scenarios.
Great. Okay, so I've got a question about sharing with vendors the sponsorship opportunities, and we just want to make sure that we're covering all of the possible spaces that our clients can point out to their sponsors. So and kind of the highlights from what we've covered today. So the bigger homepage banner, ability to show logos in the agenda if they are a sponsor, their logo and their details obviously on the exhibitor page, scavenger hunt game to bring attendees into the expo floor. There is also the sponsorship navigation page where you can highlight just your sponsors. They can have their logo on there. You can format it where it's by, if you have different tiers of sponsors, and if we were to click on a logo that can jump out to their website. Chris, was there anything that was not mentioned that you think sponsors would be interested in?
No, I think you did a pretty thorough job there.
Okay. Can someone print their badge with the QR code on the app? Yes, they can use that QR code to walk up to our express station to print their badge if that's the question. Anything? I'm just reading. Some of these we've already answered, so I'm trying to find some new ones, so bear with me. Anything new on mobile pushes, or is that coming next? So is this maybe referring to push notifications?
So with push notifications, we still support all the kind of great features that we had in the past. You can schedule push notifications from our admin system. You can tie those to certain actions. When a user taps on that notification, it'll do certain things. It can open up a web page within the app. It can go to specific session detail pages. Um, You can also target certain subsections of your attendees if you don't want the push notification to go out to everyone. Um, some of the original or first round of enhancements we've made for this new version of the app um, ties to kind of real time data transfer. So, generally, with mobile applications, we have to schedule the push notification with both Apple and Google, and then they will deliver that kind of that notification to your home screen themselves. And then we need to get that data ourselves into the app, which is a whole separate process. In the past, sometimes those two things have lagged from each other. We have completely resolved that with this new version of the app. It's part of our, real-time data transfer protocol that we're using. So that data and a lot of other things are now coming down in real time, and it's immediate. And we're looking to add a bunch more different things to come down in real time, including a lot of the sync items that you are changing in your show data to begin with. Changing session times and whatnot. But for now, we did get the push notifications onto that real time data transfer protocol.
So another question about the QR code, is the app intuitive to not display QR codes if the client has a group where they don't want them to utilize express check-in? Are you able to limit?
Is the app intuitive to not display the QR code for groups?
Yeah, if
Um,
the client has a group of individuals where they don't want them going up to express check-in, can it
no,
be
at the
turned off?
moment we don't really have any way to designate one from the other, but that's a great enhancement to look forward to in maybe 2025.
It's on for all or off for all?
Yeah.
Okay. Does the app have a virtual conference bag, sorry, functionality? If an attendee wants to save bookmark sessions documents with those documents in their profile page. So yeah, when we were by an attendee or a speaker or a session, you could bookmark. Then when we went into the individual's profile at the bottom, there was different buttons. So my attendee, my speaker, my exhibitor, so forth. I'm sorry. Everything that they bookmarked would show there. And then any notes they took as well. Anything else I should add to that?
No. If we're talking about like session handouts, as of now, you do have the ability to using kind of the phone zone operating system to pull those off the app and save or send to yourself elsewhere. But we are looking; it is on our feature list to kind of add the ability to take those handouts and kind of centralize them, similar to what you would do for the bookmark sessions and whatnot. But that's not available yet.
Right. Can you search exhibitor list filters such as category and country?
As a note, no, the global search won't apply to the filters. It will, if that information is kind of listed within the exhibitor name or their bio or description, it'll pull within there. But you do have the option to, from the exhibitor list, filter based off of those, different items.
In the push notifications, can you add a sponsor's logo?
No, at this time we don't support sending images over the push notification.
Okay. All right. And then can you just briefly talk about the time zone set up for the mobile app?
Time zones have not changed as of today. The app does have the option within a settings page to have all sessions either display in your phone's local time zone or whatever time zone show management sets up for all the sessions.
Great. Okay. What are the filtering options for sessions? So
Yeah,
it's going to be the,
so
go ahead.
we were limited to 3 in the past. That was largely just based off how it was built and how they kind of displayed on the page. We have kind of redesigned it so the limit of 3 is no longer a requirement. So you can have any arbitrary number of filters on that page.
Great. So it's just going to be dependent on what they're using and displaying in those sessions, right? Like those tracks, those
Correct.
target audiences, kind of what we talked about earlier too.
Correct.
So this is great. Thank you for all the questions. I'm sure Chris loves to hear what all of our users have, in mind or questions or maybe some things he can put on the agenda for future. But we appreciate it. Everyone's time today and joining us to learn a little bit more about the enhancements to the mobile app and going through it. So if you have any additional questions, if you want a further demo on either more in depth on the mobile app or any of our other products, you can scan the QR code that is up to reach out and we will schedule a individual meeting with you. But again, we just want to thank you for your time and joining us today.